Hi, it's Tom. The bass line that I have for today is Emergency on Planet Earth from Jamiroquai's debut album, and the bass line was played by the amazing Stuart Zender. If you're learning how to play slap, this is a great bass line to learn, first of all because it's really fun, and secondly because it covers some of the fundamentals of slap. I have a verse and a chorus bass line today. I'll play through them at a few speeds. I'll do a tutorial, and I've kept the bass lines as simple as possible. And even though Stuart Zender does some incredible fills on the track, I've taken them out, so if you're more advanced you could try to put some of those in, but even if you're learning, this should still be a fun bass line to play in the version that I've presented. Anyway, here it is. So firstly, some simple things. You want to make sure that you have some fairly fresh strings. If you have some old strings on your guitar which have kind of lost all their color and brightness, your slap won't be very clear and it'll just kind of lose a lot of that kind of definition. The strings that I have on this bass, and I find that they're nice and bright and snappy and sparkly. Sparkly is probably not a good word to use. But anyway, it says Diodario EXL 170 light strings, and I'll put a link for those in the description. Now, with my pickups, I've chosen the bridge pickup because that has a lot more high end, so it's a lot more noticeable, I guess, in the mix. And I've also turned my treble all the way up, and I have my neck pickup turned halfway. So obviously, if you have different basses, your settings will change. But basically, we want to have a more kind of bright, trebly kind of sound to make those notes clearer, because they're going to stand out more than you would normally if you were just playing low-end kind of bass. So with the slap, my thumb is pretty much tapping just the end of the neck. Like some people like to do a bit higher and a bit lower. But I find that gets a good sound around there. So if we look at that first note, after I come down, then I'm pulling up. And Stuart Zender has a very short pop there for most of those notes. So the notes aren't going, it's really short and snappy. So we have root, octave, root, octave, root, octave. And for those two notes there, we have rests in between, so we need to make sure that those notes aren't going long, they're going nice and short. So you need to be able to be on top or have this muting with the left hand under control. And the second part, the second half of the bass line is pretty much the same. We're doing root octave, root octave, root octave, and once again, on the 4, we are just playing 2 relatively short notes. In terms of practicing the verse, I would, instead of trying to tackle the whole thing, I would try to build up the rhythm bar by bar as you go along, because the rhythm is a little bit tricky. So the rhythm is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And I find that beginners especially find it difficult to play notes on the and beat, so the off beats. So you need to really build that up. So just do it nice and slowly as you go through. Alright, so for the chorus, we pretty much have the same fundamental things as the verse. We have a root octave, but here, instead of playing just 2 notes, we have 3 notes. And these notes are actually longer, so in the verse, we're just playing those notes short. Well, in the verse it was the 5, that D, but now we're playing this C, we're playing these notes longer. And in the second half we have the same thing. 1, 3, 4. Like we did with the verse, we want to make sure that we kind of build up that rhythm nice and slowly. The rhythm will be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. So build up bit by bit. So even if you just get through 2 bars in a day, you could then just build up the next part. Well, actually, to be honest, once you get past the first 2 bars, you've pretty much got the rhythm for the second part anyway. All right. I hope you found that useful. Do subscribe if you want more content like this. And yeah, that's it. Bye.